Let's be honest. On paper, WWE never looked better. Part of TKO Group, the company is posting absolutely staggering financial numbers, talking about record breaking live event revenue, arenas packed to the rafters for major shows, and game changing media deal that took Monday Night Raw to Netflix. From a purely business perspective, WWE isn't just thriving, it's entering a new golden era of profitability. In the first quarter of 2025, WWE hit an incredible $391 million, which is actually a 24% jump from the year before. And the second quarter was even bigger, bringing in a staggering 556.2 million. But what if all that success is just a Trojan horse? What if the long term storytelling, quote unquote, promised as the new dawn of a new age is just a mask for creative exhaustion? While the stock price and revenue is soaring, a growing number of fans feel like the soul of the product, the very reason we all start watching, being quietly chipped away in the background. Today, we're not looking at the balance sheet, we're looking at the screen. We're going to explore the paradox of how Triple H's leadership is somehow both a massive business success and a growing creative failure. If you're a fan who's starting to feel like your emotional investment isn't paying off, stick around because we're breaking it all down in this video. Triple H took the creative reins in July 2022, a massive sigh of relief swept across the wrestling world. It felt like a revolution. The chaotic, often nonsensical booking of Vince McMahon era in his later days was supposedly gone, replaced by a promise of a logical, patient, long-term storytelling guy who built NXT on that very foundation. That hope was supercharged in early 2024 when Vince McMahon's final exit from TKO. It was finally reported that Triple H had the sole final say on creative. Finally, one clear modern vision would guide the ship, right? And for a clear while, it was great. The shows felt different, they felt fresh, but as time wore on, the cracks began to appear. Slow burn stories that once felt purposeful now often feel like they're just slow. The promise of a new era has given way to a new, equally predictable set of patterns. The honeymoon is officially over, and a lot of fans are left wondering if the cure is starting to feel worse than the disease. A core promise of Triple H era was breathing new life into divisions that were often ignored, especially in the tag team and women's divisions. Fans were dreaming of a return to the days of deep tag rosters and women's divisions with multiple compelling stories all happening at once. Unfortunately, this is where the criticism gets really loud and honestly really fair. Many fans and analysts argue that the tag team division as a whole is still an afterthought at the WWE. The championships are often defended sporadically on random Raws or SmackDowns, and established teams are frequently broken up for no real reason, leaving both members to fade into catering, and the focus remains on mashing together main event single stars for temporary runs instead of building a dedicated, thriving division. Same critique is constantly leveled at the women's division. If you're not in the main event title picture, you might as well be invisible. The roster is loaded with exceptionally talented performers who go weeks, sometimes months, without a real storyline, getting stuck in short, meaningless matches or backstage skits. The creative energy is so hyper focused on one or two programs that the rest of the division is left treading water. It's more than a missed opportunity, it's a failure to use some of the best talent on the planet, and it makes the entire show a lot less dynamic or creative. Let's play it out. It became the battle cry for defenders of the new regime. Triple H, He was praised for his cinematic approach and his commitment to slow burn narratives, and that was welcome change from the frantic week to week booking of the past. The thing is, a slow burn has to be heading somewhere, otherwise, it's not a slow burn. It's just a nothing burner. It's burning nothing at all. Too often, we see feuds build with white hot intensity only to be quietly dropped or end in a confusing flat finish or DQ or just not even pop up on TV the next week. We see characters embark on journeys that seem like they'll redefine their characters, redefine their careers, only for the story to lose steam and have them snap back to their old selves just a couple months later. This really erodes the single most important thing a wrestling company has, and that's the fans' trust. Like, why should we invest our time and emotion into a story if there's a good chance it leads absolutely nowhere? It trains us, the audience, not to care. The promise of cinema feels pretty hollow when the third act is consistently missing, leaving everyone feeling cheated. For a little while, the shows genuinely felt different. The match quality was higher and the old rigid format seemed to be gone. Look closer, and you'll see a new set of predictable tropes has simply replaced the old ones. The illusion of change has faded, revealing a new kind of creative laziness. One of the most obvious examples is the crutch of a multi person championship match on the premium live events. Instead of building a heated one on one feud that feels like a big deal, we often get a fatal four way or a six-pack challenge. They're fun, sure, but they can make the titles and the victories feel so much less important. It's an easy way to get more faces on the poster, but it often sacrifices meaningful storytelling. And all these tag team matches are just sickening to me, honestly. And then there's the elephant in the room. SmackDown expanding to their 3 hour show in January 2025, and many fans rightfully feared that it would lead to more filler, stretching already thin stories to their breaking point. We see the same narrative beats on a loop, and the backstage sneak attack, the faction brawl ends in chaos, and the dreaded distraction finishes. These aren't fresh ideas. These are approved cliches. It's a different coat of paint on the same old house, and dedicated viewers can see right through it, man. Most ironic criticism of all, Triple H was hailed as the guy who got it. He listened to the internet, he understood the hardcore fans. But some, like former WWE head writer Vince Russo, have argued that this is actually his biggest weakness. Russo has claimed that Triple H's strategy to keep everything on an even kneel, which prevents anyone from truly getting over, absolutely destroys talent's chances long term. He also believes that Triple H can be too reactive to the audience, which hurts all long term plans. This critique suggests instead of executing a confident vision, the product is chasing weekly social media buzz. Haven't you realized at the start of every single show now they're shoving down which company said what social media did, how many numbers? It's absolutely sickening and it doesn't belong there. It really course corrects based on who's getting the loudest chants, leading to bizarre character shifts that don't feel earned at all. A heel 1 month slowly becomes a babyface the next, not because of a great story, but because of a crowd starting to turn. This approach chases short term pops instead of building a legacy. Listening to your audience is vital, but letting most vocal fans become your unofficial booking committee leads to a product that lacks conviction. It feels less like a story being told by a confident author and more like a choose your own adventure book where every path leads to a dead end. And we have to talk about the pointless rehiring spree because one of the first and most popular moves of the Triple H era was bringing back a flood of talent that had been unceremoniously fired. Names like Johnny Gargano, Dakota Kai, Karrion Cross walked back through that curtain, and for a minute it was electric. It felt like a promise. Mistakes were made, but now talent would be valued. The problem is, it didn't take long for people to realize that many of these returning stars were there without a plan beyond the surprise pop. Carrying Cross is the poster child for this. He returned with these incredible cinematic vignettes, positioned as a killer who could threaten the biggest names in the company. But after his first feud, he just drifted and became a shark in a fish tank that was suddenly overflowing. It wasn't just him. The faction hit row came back with all the swagger in the world, only to become background noise. And this revolving door didn't just hurt the talent, it hurt the show. Instead of building new stars from the ground up, the roster got bloated with performers who had no clear direction, and the rehiring spree was a brilliant short term move for Buzz, but it exposed major long term flaw, a lack of vision for what comes next. It was a sugar rush with a hell of a crash, leaving the product leaving overstuffed and unfocused. So here it is, the big question. If the show is so creatively frustrating for many, why is WWE printing money? This is the billion-dollar paradox of the Triple H era. The business metrics don't lie. The company's revenue has been surged, driven by massive media rights deals like the one brought by Raw to Netflix in the US, an expanded WWE global footprint. In quarter one and quarter two of 2025, WWE's combined revenue was nearly 950 million. TKO Group even raised its full year revenue forecast for 2025 to over $4.6 billion, and the WWE brand itself, built over decades and powered by massive events like WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, is strong enough to mask a lot of storytelling weakness, at least for a little bit. The spectacle, the larger than life stars, and the sheer power of the WWE marketing machine keeps the business booming, but the question remains, for how long? The brand is ultimately built on the quality of its core product, and the WWE fans are very loyal to stick it out throughout these ticket raises and price hikes. But while the accountants at TKO are popping champagne, a growing part of the loyal fan base is left feeling creatively starved right now. The Triple H era has proven that WWE can be a financial monster and a creative disappointment both at the same time. The record profits and landmark streaming deals are a testament to the incredible business skill, but they don't write compelling television. They don't build the next generation of megastars, and they don't reward the fans who pour their time and passion into the product every single week. So, no, Triple H isn't killing WWE's business, he's making it richer than ever. But a wrestling promotion is more than a stock price. It's about stories, it's about characters, it's about moments that make you feel something. And from that perspective, you can argue that the soul of WWE is what's truly at risk. But that's just my take. Is the financial success enough for you, or do you feel like the magic is fading? Which of these issues bother you the most? Drop your honest thoughts down in the comments below. And I really appreciate you for getting to this point. This is my first video, so a like and subscribe really goes a long way. And you can do that for more deep dives in the world of professional wrestling. Have a great day.